Welcome to Review Set Scare with Jess and Blair. I'm Jess.
I'm Blair.
Blair, how are you?
I'm good, man. You must be getting pretty damn excited, eh?
Pretty damn excited indeed. I am quite tired. I want to start by just getting mentioning the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
I am getting married this weekend, and I'm facing a giant crisis right now. I have a big old zit on my nose. Whatever shall I do? I can't postpone the big day. Oh my goodness, a big old blemish.
I didn't notice it before you said something, but
And now
I
you
see
can't
it.
take your eyes off of it.
Now
Yeah,
it's there,
yeah.
man.
Somebody asked me if I had a sunburned nose. I said, "How dare you?" It's a blemish, but nonetheless, I will be married this weekend. I am very excited.
I'm very excited as well for you and just to go to your wedding.
I'm very excited that you'll be able to celebrate the big day with me, Blairski. Yeah,
It'll
but
be
very
fun.
tired, but nonetheless very excited. And excited to talk about this week's episode, our second episode of September, aka Stephen King month. And we have a classic to chat about tonight. But before we do that, what do you say we chat a little bit about some horror news? Blairski, you want to kick this one off?
I'll start off with the second official trailer for The Exorcist Believer came out the other day.
Mm-hmm.
It is even better than the first trailer.
Okay.
So it's giving me high hopes for the movie. So I'm hoping it lives up to it.
I just mentioned to you less than 5 minutes ago that I had not seen it yet. You had mentioned you had watched it a couple days ago, and you had raved about it. And I said, I'm going to watch it on my lunch break. Lunch break came and went, and I did not watch it. But was it a lot of stuff that they didn't show in the first trailer?
There is some of the same stuff, but yeah, a lot of new stuff.
Okay,
a lot of new stuff, a lot of scary scenes. I'm hoping it's not one of those situations where they show everything, you know. But
yeah,
it looks really good.
A common trope amongst horror movies, but
right.
Just more and more exciting news about that one, because obviously a release date is coming up quickly, quicker than originally planned, as that one had been pushed up due to Taylor Swift. But thank you, Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
you got anything else for horror news, Blairski?
Yeah, so the first official poster for Eli Roth's Thanksgiving has been released.
No way. Okay.
Yeah, it looks pretty badass. It kind of looks like Guy Fawkes holding a bloody axe.
Excellent.
It's a pretty cool looking poster. As well, this is my last piece of horror news. Earlier today, the first teaser trailer dropped as well for Eli Roth's Thanksgiving.
No way. I missed both of those.
Yeah, man.
Did you watch the trailer?
I did watch the trailer. It looks pretty good. It looks like a slasher. It looks like a fun Thanksgiving slasher.
I was curious if he was just going to re-release the trailer that he had used for Grindhouse, but obviously I think the entire cast has changed. Does it look good?
It looks good, man. It looks good. It looks like a lot of fun. It said going to be released in November, but it didn't give an actual date.
Okay. That is one that I think is definitely one you have to see in theaters to get the whole experience.
For sure, man. For sure. It looks great.
Yeah. I've got a couple of pieces of horror news. The newest Broadway stage musical is set to begin performances September 16th. Saw the musical, an unauthorized parody of Saw, will run off-Broadway at the AMT Theater in New York City, and tickets are now currently on sale. The show will run through January 1st, 2024. How crazy is that?
Now, is that going to run before or after Evil Dead, the musical?
Good question. So I know that Evil Dead, the musical, has played before. It's been around for quite some time.
Right.
What do I appreciate about Evil Dead, the musical, is that in a lot of productions, they have the splatter zone.
Yeah.
So the first couple rows, you'll be covered in fake blood, which is excellent.
Yes, it is.
I hope the same goes for Saw the musical. Second piece of horror news I have here. Shudder has announced their Fear Fest lineup, and boy, oh boy, it is excellent. The lead up to Halloween lineup includes VHS 85, which premieres October 6th. The new addition to the Hell House franchise, Hell House LLC Origins, The Carmichael Manor, will premiere October 30th, right before Halloween.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of new Joe Bob Briggs specials, including a special he'll host to celebrate the 45th anniversary of Halloween.
I think he has a special tomorrow night as well, which will be the 8th of September.
I was going through this list and it looked like he had 4 or 5 specials, which is fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's a good lineup.
I think so too. Totally. And then finally, Terrifier 3 news here.
Mm-hmm.
The third installment in the Terrifier franchise had some exciting news recently, a release window. As per Bloody Disgusting, Terrifier 3 has a concrete release window for 2024. So no actual date, but they're saying 2024. And then Damien Leone, the director, writer, creator of the franchise, stated that here there will also be some special surprises because a year is just too long to wait.
I love that.
I don't know what that includes, what that entails. Obviously, we've had some news recently about part 1, and I also believe part 2 being re-released into theaters.
Yeah.
So who knows what will come for the lead up for Terrifier 3, but that's pretty exciting news.
Just hopefully it's not 2.5 hours, so you give it a chance.
I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered. Enough of horror news for us. What do you say we dive into this week's episode, second episode of Stephen King Month? This week, we will be going over 1990s It. Runtime on this one. Holy, a staggering 3 hours and 12 minutes. Blairski, I know we'll dive into this in likes and dislikes, but initial thought on the runtime.
It's too fucking long, man.
Very good. Let's jump right into fun facts. Blairski, you want to kick off some fun facts on this one?
Oh, this 3-hour fucking movie was filmed over 3 months in New Westminster, BC.
Oh, no way.
Just outside of Vancouver, believe it or not.
Right on.
The movie has won an Emmy Award.
Okay.
For outstanding music composition for the score, believe it or not.
Interesting. I obviously I go on and on and on most of our episodes about the music, and this is the first episode in a while where I don't have anything to say about the music. I don't really remember it.
No, I don't either, to be honest. That's
okay.
So Malcolm McDowell, Roddy McDowell, and Alice Cooper were all considered to play Pennywise. Can you believe that?
Yeah,
imagine
feed in my Frankenstein.
Yeah, imagine Alice Cooper as Pennywise.
Yeah.
The director just really, really wanted Tim Curry.
I mean, do you blame the director? Tim Curry
no.
is a treasure that must be protected at all costs. I love him. Yeah. Anything else you got?
Tim Curry's portrayal of Pennywise was almost completely improvised.
No way.
Yeah, which is pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And this last fun fact I'm going to say, I could literally go off.
There was a lot.
Fun facts.
There was a lot, yeah.
But Tim Curry's performance unnerved the cast and crew so much that they avoided him as much as possible while on set. And while between shots, Tim Curry would be chain smoking, like just sitting there chain smoking away.
In full costume.
But if one of the child actors got too close to him, he would show his like sharp fake teeth at him and snarl and scare him away.
I love it.
Which I thought was pretty fucking awesome, man.
Method acting.
Oh, at its best.
I've got a couple here. Tim Curry, who obviously plays Pennywise the Dancing Clown, had less than 20 minutes of screen time. We'll talk about that in likes and dislikes, but let us remind you that the runtime on this movie is 3 hours and 12 minutes. And Tim Curry, the star of the movie, is in it for less than 20 minutes. Ugh. So we talked about people who were apparently considered for the role of Pennywise, but apparently when the project was first announced, it was planned to be a 10-hour miniseries with George A. Romero set to direct.
Really?
Yeah, which would have been pretty cool, I
That would
think.
have been
And
interesting.
maybe a little bit more bloody.
Yeah, definitely
Who
more
knows?
bloody.
This one I thought was really, really cool. Tim Curry suffers from a fear of clowns,
Hmm,
like debilitating. Apparently on set, he requested that there weren't any mirrors anywhere.
crazy. I did not know this.
Yeah, and it's I was looking through his IMDb page, and I don't think it's the only movie where he's in a movie with clowns. So kind of cool. This one I just read today. It's a Stephen King fun fact, but NME magazine just released an article today titled "Stephen King's wife threatened to divorce him because he wouldn't stop playing Mambo Number 5." And then there was a quote from the article that simply said, "I played that a lot."
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
I thought that was a fun fact. And then finally, my soon-to-be wife Carly, who is a theater designer, worked with Frank C. Turner, who played
Crazy.
Beverly's dad. Yeah.
Crazy.
When she was in high school, she helped work on a production of A Woman in Black, which, side note, is a fantastic and scary as hell play. But she remembers that she had to run and get him a Coca-Cola. But Frank
That's
C.
kinda
Turner,
cool.
yeah, he is from Wainwright, Alberta, small town
Oh, right
Alberta.
on.
So I thought that was really, really cool. That's all I have for fun facts. What do you say we get right into discussing the fine folks who worked on this 3 hour and 12-minute movie, TV movie? First of all, directed by Tommy Lee Wallace, also directed Halloween 3, Season of the Witch,
Okay.
also directed 1988's Fright Night Part 2, and apparently he acted in 1978 classic Halloween as an uncredited Michael Myers.
What?
I don't know if he was just a
Was he the
stand-in
child? Was he the
or a
kid?
double. I don't think he was the kid,
Wait, who? No, he wouldn't be
but
the kid.
I don't know if he was just a stand-in or a double, but I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that is.
This one written by, of course, Stephen King, one of the most influential figures in our lifetime. Need we say more? Also written by Tommy Lee Wallace, who wrote Amityville 2, The Possession, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, and an episode of The Twilight Zone entitled The Leprechaun Artist, in which 3 teenage boys are each granted a wish after catching a vacationing leprechaun. And then finally, written by Lawrence D. Cohen, also wrote the 1976 film adaptation of a Stephen King classic, Carrie, which is really, really cool. This one had a mammoth cast, massive.
Mhm.
And I'm not going to talk about all of them, but I'm going to talk about a few of them. First off, Richard Thomas as Bill Denborough also starred in 124 episodes of the hit American TV show The Waltons, where he played John Boy Walton. The Waltons, of course, a little bit more of a family-friendly show than Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
This one also starring Annette O'Toole as Beverly Marsh, also starred in Superman 3 as Lana Lang, 33 episodes as Lisa Bridges in Nash Bridges, and in 136 episodes of Smallville, where she played Martha Kent. Also starring John Ritter, comic legend John Ritter, as Ben Hanscom. Also starred in 172 episodes of Three's Company, 31 episodes of 8 Simple Rules, and in 65 episodes as the voice of Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
That's awesome.
And then finally, the legend, the one and only Tim Curry as Pennywise the Dancing Clown, aka It, aka Bob Gray. Also starred in 1996's Muppets Treasure Island as Long John Silver.
Love that fucking movie.
The Concierge in Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Yeah.
Rooster in 1982's Annie. Nigel Thornberry in The Wild Thornberries. Dr. Frankenfurter in the cult classic, The Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
And in my personal favorite, a movie I have seen no fewer than 100 times, Clue, where he plays Wadsworth the butler.
I finally watched that movie.
It is honestly one of the most fun performances in cinematic history. He is brilliant in that movie. The cast in that movie is fantastic, and he stands out. Tim Curry, the legend.
Yeah.
Synopsis for 1990's It, courtesy of our good friends at IMDb. In 1960, 7 preteen outcasts fight an evil demon who poses as a child-killing clown. 30 years later, they reunite to stop the demon once and for all when it returns to their hometown. Ooh.
Tells it exactly how the movie is.
Yeah, that's it. In a nutshell.
In a nutshell.
This leads to one of our favorite segments of the show, Kill Count.
Kill Count. The time of the show we count the kills.
Blairski, we got a kill count on this one?
We do. We have a kill count of 8, and that is including the death of Pennywise the clown.
Okay.
Plus 1 suicide.
That's right.
Plus 1
Okay.
suicide.
8 deaths over 3 hours and 12 minutes.
We've done movies where there's way more than that in one single scene.
Yeah. We usually like to start our next segment, likes and dislikes. Of course, a portion of the show where we chat about what we liked, what we didn't like, and everything in between. We usually like to start this segment off by jumping right into kill count. But instead of that, because we brought it up so many times, Blairski, would you like to talk about the 3 hour and 12-minute runtime on this one?
Oh, man, you cracked up. It's way too long.
Way too long.
Way too long.
Way too long.
I got
and
bored.
I get it.
I got bored.
And I get it. This one in particular was a made-for-TV movie. I don't know if it would have been shown back to back or if it would have been done on 2 separate nights.
I think it was 2 separate nights.
I think it maybe would have been a little bit more bearable watching it kind of broken up into 2 parts. But yeah, it was a little bit boring. I feel like it hasn't dated very well.
No.
It's not nearly as scary as the remake.
No.
I kept finding myself comparing the two, which I think I was just shooting myself in the foot. Obviously, with
it's
the
hard
remake,
not to, man.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you think about it, the remake being made into 2 movies, and both of those movies being nearly, I think, 3 hours long each.
Yeah.
And being released in theaters where they didn't really have to worry about a rating. They didn't have to worry about, the limited runtime. I think they were able to do more in the remake. But yeah, it just felt a little bit dated.
It really was. So this was the first real horror movie for me watching as a kid. And I remember as a kid, it scared the absolute crap out of me. Like I couldn't sleep for a week after watching this movie.
What was it that scared you about it? Was it Pennywise?
I think it was Pennywise. It had to have been Pennywise because that's all I really remembered about the movie in years going forward was always Pennywise the clown, right?
Fair enough. And I mean, I wrote down here, Pennywise the dancing clown is excellent. Tim Curry is a treasure. But unfortunately, I just feel like Bill Skarsgård was a bit more terrifying.
They both do. I actually have this written here. They both do things better.
Yeah.
In different ways of each other.
Absolutely.
I found Tim Curry was very creepy at points, but he was more comical than anything.
Yeah.
Where Bill Skarsgård is absolutely frightening. More like a monster.
Agreed. Yeah. He just, and physically, he just looks scarier.
Yeah.
I feel like we're rambling too much on the remake. It is a shame. We touched on this earlier. It is a shame that Tim Curry was only in it for 20 minutes. It's really a shame because he's so much fun to watch.
Yeah. Every scene that had him in it was a scene I enjoyed in the movie. I was just watching the movie, waiting for those scenes.
Him to show up. Yeah. That being said, I really liked the acting in this movie. I thought the acting from the children and their adult counterparts, I thought it was really fun. I thought there was maybe a couple standouts, but I didn't think anyone stuck out as maybe dragging anyone else down. I thought it was
No.
consistent. It was consistent.
Seth
Yeah.
Green. It was great seeing Seth Green so young.
A young Seth Green. That's right. Yeah. Oh, goodness. What else did you like or not like about this one?
Okay, well, you said that it didn't age that well. I'm going to
Yeah.
say about the CGI that was used in this movie. So I'm not going to call it bad CGI because it was kind of funny. It was bad CGI, but it was kind of
Yeah.
funny. It was very 90s CGI.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I personally loved how fantastically ridiculous it was, especially the spider at the end. It was so ridiculous.
Yeah, it really was, man. They used a lot of blood in this movie, which I liked. I loved
Yep.
the use of blood in this movie.
Yep.
That's really all I have written down, man. The acting, I've got that written down, which we've already talked about.
Yeah. I have here,
Um,
I thought the casting was really good. I thought the casting between, the children and their adult counterparts was really, really good. And I have the same comment for the remake. I thought the casting all across was really good.
I was just going to say, there's absolutely no gore in this movie, hey?
No, it just felt very soap opera-y. Like
Yeah.
it didn't really feel like a horror movie.
No, every kill was just like a close up going towards, the
Yeah.
mouth of Pennywise or something like that, or just fading to black.
That's what I was I obviously that first or one of the first scenes with Georgie and Pennywise being in the sewer. That scene irked me. Not only was the sun shining in most of that scene compared to how dark it is in the remake,
Mhm.
but yeah, they cut out any blood and gore in that scene. Which fair enough. I obviously this being a TV movie, they had to deal with a lot of limitations that they wouldn't have had to deal with if it was released in theaters as a movie instead of a TV
Yeah,
movie.
no, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was a lot of fun, just way too long and not enough Pennywise.
Mhm.
I mean, that's to me, that was it just got a little bit boring.
Yeah, you said it exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that really, really jumped out to me.
What were your thoughts on Henry Bowers and his crew?
Typical 19 see that's the thing, it took place in the 60s and immediately I was so confused because some of the costumes with the kids felt a little bit more 1990s, and
Yeah.
then there were other kids that felt 1950s, and it was like what time period are we doing here? Let's figure it out. Let's find a common ground, or a year that everyone can be from. There was a giant rock fight that
Yes, there was.
pretty hysterical. There was just
so cheesy too.
Yeah, with a runtime like this, I just feel like there is so much I missed. And so much that just went over my head because it was filler, maybe. But it unfortunately it made me more excited to watch the remake because I loved the remake. I thought the remake was done so well, and this one is just maybe it's dated. It's dated.
It's dated. You said it exactly.
I feel like we're running in circles here. I say we just move this along. It was fun, but I say we move right along.
I agree. I totally agree.
Next segment of the show, of course, is lessons we learned from watching 1990's It.
Lessons we learned from watching. Insert title of movie here.
The segment of the show where we talk about the valuable life lessons we learned from watching said movie. Blairski, did you learn anything from watching it?
If in the future I ever plan on moving down south to the States, I got to make sure I stay away from the state of Maine.
That's right. Yeah.
As per Stephen King, nothing good happens in Maine.
No.
Listen to the advice of George's dad and don't take stuff from strangers.
Yeah.
And finally, the sewer system is not a playground or a safe place to hang out.
No, get out of there. What are you doing?
Not only do you have a constant flow of fecal matter lurking around, but you got sewers are home to alligators, they're home to giant spiders, aliens, spaceships, demonic clowns.
There are spaceships and aliens in your local sewer systems. Do not go in there.
There sure is in Derry, Maine.
That's right. I've got a couple here. A high metabolism can cause one to be hyperactive. This was, I believe, in Seth Green's characters. That was him. High metabolism can cause one to be hyperactive. Next, I have an inhaler can be used to attack an alien / clown / demon because the contents include battery acid? Question mark. Okay, that one. I have an inhaler, and I was unaware that it included battery acid. And then finally, something that I knew before, but always a nice lesson to come back to: Porky Pig has a stutter, and Elmer Fudd has a lisp. There you have it.
That's right.
Just some of the few lessons we learned from watching 1990s It. Moving right along to our next segment, as some might say it's one of our favorites, Line of the Night.
Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night.
The segment of the show where we discuss our favorite lines from the movie. They might give us chills, they might give us the giggles. All we know is that they are our favorites. Blairski, any favorite lines from this one?
I've got 3 from Pennywise.
Okay.
The first one, I'll kill you all. I'll drive you crazy and I'll kill you all. I'm every nightmare you ever had. I am your worst dream come true. I am everything you were ever afraid of.
That's pretty ice cold.
That's pretty ice cold. I love that, man. I love that.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Next one from Pennywise. Kiss me, fat boy.
Yeah.
Also, when Pennywise and when the kids were first trying to take him out down in the sewers, they're trying to kill him, and he's like, "You're trying to kill me? I'm eternal, child. I am the eater of worlds and of children, and you're next."
Ooh, another ice cold line.
Another ice cold. And then my last line of the night is beep, beep, Richie.
Beep, beep, Richie.
Which is said by practically every cast member.
Yeah, it's a reoccurring line for sure. Yeah.
I think they're using it to kind of shut him up.
I think so. I think it's something that maybe bothers him. Yeah. Absolutely. I've got another one here from Pennywise. He says, "You all taste so much better when you're afraid." Ooh, love it.
Cool, buddy.
I've got one from kind of towards the beginning of the movie. Child 1 says, "Some people have no class." And the second child says, "Some people have janitors for parents."
Yeah.
Children are evil.
Burn.
And then finally, the young Henry Bowers to Eddie Kasbrick. While he is having an asthma attack, he says, "Stop that, or I'll pull your ears down and tie them under your chin."
Guy was a piece of shit, man.
Piece of work indeed. Goodness gracious. This leads to our final segment of the show. Truly our favorite segment of the show, Celebrity Lookalike Time.
Celebrity lookalike time.
The time of the show where we take a look at the cast and discuss their celebrity doppelgangers. A spoiler alert, it usually comes down to the character's hairstyle. Blairski, celebrity lookalike times for 1990s It.
All right. Old Ben, played by John Ritter, reminded me of Tim, the Toolman Taylor's partner in crime, Mr. Al Borland.
Mr. Al Borland in his flannel shirts.
Finally, Henry Bowers and his entire crew reminded me of the Greasers in The Outsiders. Okay. And Henry Bowers specifically reminded me of 2-Bit Matthews.
2-Bit. So we got 2-Bit, we got Soda Pop, we got Pony Boy, we got Dally, we got the whole gang. I've got a couple here. John Ritter looked like if Bryan Cranston and Ryan Reynolds had a love child.
That's funny.
I also I had here the adult Richie reminded me both of Principal Ed Rooney from Ferris Bueller's Day Off
Yeah.
and also star pitcher for the Chicago Cubs, Chet the Rocket Stedman, portrayed by Gary Busey in the 1993 American sports comedy Rookie of the Year.
Oh, man.
I've also got here, with his denim shirt and leather vest, John Ritter reminded me of country music icon Waylon Jennings, especially on the cover for his 1976 album, Are You Ready for the Country? And then finally, young Bill reminded me a lot of Will Wheaton's character, Gordy, in another Stephen King adaptation, Stand By Me. Excellent film. This leads to our final rating for 1990's It. Blairski, out of 5 awkward rides on a 30-year-old Schwinn bike through bustling traffic to save the love of your life, what do you give 1990's It out of 5?
I am going to be giving it 2 rides on a swim bike, riding through a forest while a cloud is chasing you, out of 5.
Close enough. Close enough. Oh, that's our Blairski. I am going to give it 2.5 awkward rides on a 30-year-old Schwinn bike through bustling traffic to save the love of your life out of 5. This movie was fun. This movie was long. This movie was dated. This movie has Tim Curry. Not enough Tim Curry.
Not enough. I was disappointed, man. I remember this movie terrifying the crap out of me as a kid.
Yeah.
I have watched the remakes. I own the remakes and love them both and find both those pretty creepy in themselves.
Yeah.
So I was excited to rewatch this one. And yeah, I was bored. I was bored most of the time.
It frightened you so much that you didn't sleep for a week as a child. And now, after watching it from 1990, you slept like a baby.
I did. Man, I could not
gracious.
remember that final rating you just spat out there at all.
It was a lengthy one, as they often are, and I set you up for disaster. I usually let Blairski know what the rating is going to be before the show, but we thought we'd wing it tonight.
Yeah, it did not work well.
No, we were close. Not really, but that's okay.
Yeah, so I gave it 2 out of 5. You gave it 2.5, right?
2.5, indeed. Right. Yeah. Next week, I guess we're taking a little bit of a break. Not necessarily a break, but the episode will be released a little bit further. I will be away on my honeymoon.
Yes, but
and Blairski, although he asked, was not allowed to come on the honeymoon.
I told him I was going to hide in his suitcase, but I don't think that's going to roll.
No, not at all. But we'll be back a few days after our scheduled Monday releases for our 3rd movie in the Stephen King month. But that being said, for Review Set Scare with Jess and Blair, I'm Jess.
I'm Blair. Remember to stay scary.
And eat every sandwich. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Review Set Scare. Make sure you check out our Linktree at linktree/reviewsetscare. That's linktr.ee/reviewsetscare, which has links to our Instagram, YouTube, Patreon, Twitch, and many other things. If you'd like to email us, you can reach us at reviewsetscare@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and remember to stay scary and eat every sandwich. A proud member of the Planet X Network.